p.m. show, weekend edition at CRN Digital Talk Radio. Don't forget you can email Fred Dreyer, incoming at crni.net. That's incoming at crni.net. Once again, here is Fred Dreyer.
Thank you, Michael Horn. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about the CPAC speech by Daniel Hannan, member of a European Parliament, author and journalist, talking about America, the beauty of America, and why it is such a unbelievable country. And he's British, you know.
He's British, and he's talking about our
British.
Constitution. He's talking about our country.
He's talking with pride, as if he were a citizen and as if he were given the blessing to run for office over here. And when you listen to him, listen to how clear, how passionate, and how correct he knows he is. And this is a little piece from Daniel Hannan talking about America's extraordinary confidence.
Where does it come from? This extraordinary self-confidence that every visitor in your country notices. This incredible self-belief that is like a force of nature. Awesome and inexorable. An optimism and a confidence that took a dream of liberty and turned it into a functioning state, and then placed the flag of that state on the moon. That attracted tens of millions of people from every corner of the world to come here, and that liberated hundreds of millions more from the evils of fascism and communism. Where does it come from?
Yeah, where does it come from?
Yeah, that is a good point. That's a good question.
You know, and
it's just there in all of us.
Yeah, and it took 237 years, and a little bit before that certainly, to forge that character and that belief and that self-confidence in order to create the greatest country this planet has ever seen. And I'm a big believer in UFOs, but at the same time, as far as I know, it's the greatest planet in the universe. You know.
You do believe in UFOs?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, we've got a lot of them in the Senate, and so what we're doing here is really separating for the people, for our listeners, what it is that we need to focus on, raise our expectations, look for and demand from the people that are asking you for their vote. You know, asking for your vote for president, and just because you've got a president who is a failure at being an American, does not mean that whoever you elect is the right person or are going to win. I believe right now, right at this very moment, if you were to take a vote,
there was an election today.
If there's an election today, Barry gets it. I believe it.
Yeah, the Republican Party has had so many debates and talked about so much, and the lead has changed so many times because nobody is running away with it. And to me, when I liked Newt Gingrich, it was when he was speaking directly at me. Last week when you played the soundbite from Marco Rubio from Florida, he was speaking to me, made sense to me. This guy in his opening statement right now, obviously asked a question on your second soundbite, was speaking to me, directly to me, to what my core beliefs are. And that's what I think I need to hear, is someone speaking to me so I go, yeah, I'm not nuts. This is exactly what we need to do. But we all kind of know it. We just sort of shelve it off because there's shades of, well, we got to take care of this, or, oh, we got to do this, or we got to redistribute wealth so this person's okay. When if we all just got the country working again and reinvested in our country and in our basic beliefs, things would heal and we'd be back on top, moving forward better than we've ever been.
Get the government out of your everyday life,
right,
and things will now just go right back to the way they should have been.
Exactly.
Just get the government out of your life. Here's more of Daniel Hannan talking about the wonderment of American culture and character.
Culture is a product of institutions. The success of this country, the energy, the optimism, the self-belief, all go back to the little secular miracle that happened in the old courthouse in Philadelphia nearly 2.5 centuries ago. Your character comes from your institutions. There is perhaps no polity in the world so bound up in the nature of its political structures. And I tell you this, if you go down the road towards more government and more regulation and higher taxes, I don't know if you saw the Heritage Foundation study the other day of how many people are now dependent on the federal government, either through welfare claims or through state employment or whatever. If you go down that road and you reverse the constitutional settlement envisioned by your founders, you see how quickly Americans will start behaving like French people. There's nothing in the soil. There's nothing in the water. There's no law of nature that makes this country the way it is. It comes from the institution.
Yep.
It really does.
Isn't it interesting? And it's really interesting that that it's the institutions that the left has attacked. The biggest institution is the institution of education and religion. Those two institutions are the rock bed of the character and the belief system. This is
country, you're right.
This is our inalienable right to
separation from church and state. That's what this country was founded on. Whether you believe in a higher power, whether you believe in religion or not, the country was founded on separation of belief. For you to not believe, that's one of your beliefs. And so if we start dealing with that and telling institutions what they can or can't do, even if it's against their core belief, you now are getting the government involved in a religious belief, which is what people came to this country to escape. And now it's being forced on them, and that is just not the way to go in my book.
Well, let's hope that that it's not the way to go in everybody's book.
I hope that's my hope.
Yeah, but in order to turn this around, you've got to lift the narrative, which is the theme of what we're talking about this hour. Lift the narrative.
You got to talk about it. You got to bring it to that base.
You must talk about it. Just like this man, Daniel Hannan, is talking about it. He talks beautifully and with passion and with authority. There is just an overwhelming opportunity for the American people to stand up and do something right and make it a blessing to be born in this country, and that moment is fast approaching, and we've got a short period of time to saturate this narrative, and we're going to have to be able to be on the same page, and we're going to have to understand that you're going to have to fight for it, just like they fought 237 years ago. The battle is just beginning, you know. So when we come back, we've got more with Daniel Hannan, and we have a couple other things we want to talk to you guys about, but the tail end of Daniel Hannan's speech here today is really, really interesting. Hold on, we'll be right back.